Double Dose interview where you and I will both be getting filled up with knowledge. And today we have Queen Vic coming to the couch. Yes.
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So I know I met you about a couple months ago, and then I've been seeing you do so much with your singing. So I had to bring you on here because you teach it.
Yeah,
so
right.
Y'all gotta come to her.
Right.
So tell me, what got you into singing?
I started singing at a really young age. It's always a funny story when I tell it. I was just randomly, you know how like in 5th grade we have a graduation song. Yeah. They want all the kids to get together and sing a song, and there was like this solo part. Okay. And the music teacher was like, okay, there's a solo for this song. If you want to try it, come up. And so I was just like, I'll try.
Oh, wow, okay.
And then I just started singing the part. She taught it to me. I started singing it, and everybody was like, wow. And so I was like, I guess I did a good job. I guess. But the day of the 5th grade graduation, I guess I never told my parents. So I was just up there singing, and they were like,
no way.
So yeah, after that, like in middle school, I was in chorus, high school chorus. And then I went to college for music.
Oh,
so
wow.
I just stuck with it. And I've been doing music. Like, I grew up in church, so I did music in church. So, yeah, it's just once I realized that.
Better. Ooh, baby, yes.
So once I realized that, like, that was my niche, like, I stuck with it for the most part. So, yeah.
That's really good. Since the 5th grade.
Yeah.
Girl, I was nervous. You were scared up there by yourself doing the solo.
I don't remember if I was scared, but I feel like even to this day, when you're about to perform, there's always like a little bit of like jittery nerves. Like you're excited to be up there, but it's like, you know, it's just a little bit of nervousness. But I think that's good because that just keeps you fresh, keeps you on your toes. You don't get complacent. I mean, not saying that if you're comfortable and you're calm, then you're not, you know, you don't care. Right. But I just feel like when there's a little bit of, you know, excitement bubbling, I just feel like it's a good thing.
Okay, so you never got too comfortable yet with this? Like,
oh, no.
I know. No.
Oh, yeah. The more that I do it, the more I realize that there's room to grow. And so, like, even watching other people who've been in the game longer than me, or even people who are new singers, but they have that, they're just really eager to get out there. I take from both. I just look at everybody like, okay, like I can use this, I can use that, I can use that. Yeah.
That's really good. So how do you get your like gigs? Like how did you even start with wanting to go to different places to perform? Because I know you did some live singing like with bands and stuff like that. Okay, so how do you get that?
It's really just being around people. I remember, first me going out was just like being downtown, right? Like, let's be for real. Like, everybody been downtown Orlando. Like, that's where you meet a lot of people. And so, somebody who I knew from downtown was hosting an open mic.
Okay.
Right. And so I was like, I know this person. I'm gonna go support their thing. Like, it looks like it'll be cool. Good. And so I went, but didn't perform. But it was a really good vibe. And so I was like, I'm gonna sing next time. And I had been just coming. And so people who would see me sing, they'd be like, I remember you from here or there. And then, eventually, like, some people will see me and they'll be like, you should sing here. Or so it's just like being in certain spaces really just opened doors for me to be able to, you know, get a gig here or there.
That's
so
really good.
Yeah, and you know, I won't say it's just coincidence because I don't believe in that. But it's just like being in the right place at the right time with the right people. It really makes that makes a difference because you can be in the right place at the right time, but if the wrong people around, you won't get where you need to be. So
that's really good. Okay, so explain to me how you got started with like teaching. Like, how do you teach?
Yeah, so I first started teaching like maybe right out of high school, like in college. People would tell me, like, especially my teachers growing up, because first I learned how to play piano. I forgot to say that. I've been playing piano forever.
Oh wow! So you're really musically talented.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I've been introduced to music from an early age. Okay. So I learned how to play piano before I learned how to sing. But my piano teachers will always be like, yeah, like I paid for a lot of stuff in college by teaching piano lessons or teaching voice lessons. And so people are like, you should really teach. Yeah. Especially people who wanted to learn and they saw that I knew how to do it. So they're like, can you teach me? And starting off, you don't really know. You don't really know what to do. Like, I didn't go to school to be a teacher. Like, I was just, trying to share what I knew. And, starting off is kind of rocky, when you get different age groups and you don't necessarily know how to do it. You're just trying to testing it out. So, like, one time I taught, like, a 4-year-old. That was
4-year-old?
Yeah, her attention span wasn't, like, it wasn't there. So, it was like, okay, maybe it's a little bit too early. But then I taught somebody who was, like, 40. So it's just like the different age groups and then everything in between. And then I kind of like took a break, but then I came back and I was teaching professionally through like a company. Like I was an independent contractor and I was like traveling to different homes and stuff teaching. And then I taught for one company, then I switched over and taught for another company that I'm currently teaching for. But then throughout all of that, like some of my students who've like come and gone, because some people, they don't stick with forever, that's fine. Yeah. But some of the students that I had through the company, like I kept their contact information or they kept mine. And so like randomly some people would be like, hey, are you teaching privately? I'm like, yeah. 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 And so like I was like, I can build my own clientele. Like it's great to have clientele through a company because it's more, in a sense, it's more guaranteed. Like you have somebody bringing in the people for you.
That's your stepping stone.
Right, exactly. But I was like, I can do this for myself though, and I could do it for my own, and I could run it myself. Of course, exactly. Right. And that takes work. It's not easy, but it's definitely worth it in the long run. Okay. So yeah, I'm building that currently, building my clientele while still having my students through my independent contractor gigs. So yeah, it's growing. It's growing.
About what if you like a beginner stage? Like what if they really can't sing at all? But could you really fix that? Like,
yeah, so everybody has like different abilities. So I try to, through working with people, I try to find out what their strong suits are and try to really dig into that and use that to their advantage. Some people struggle with pitch, like being able to hear something and sing it. Like if I sing, so for instance, like there's like something called solfege. So if I sing do and you struggle with matching that, okay, then we'll work on matching pitch. So I'll sing something, you sing it. I'll sing something else, you try your best to match. And then that can help with something that's called intonation, which means staying in tune. Okay. So yeah, it's just like stepping stones. Like you just use little bits and pieces and piece it together until you're able to build on it. Because some people, they just want to come out and sing this song and I'm like,
bring it back just a little bit, baby.
Yeah, we got to work on a few things before Whitney Houston. Let's bring it back a little bit. Let's pick something a little bit more simple. Yeah. So we can work on technique, building blocks and stuff like that. Because people don't understand or realize that there's so much that it takes to achieve a certain sound. Right. And so it's like sometimes a lesson might only be techniques. Like we might not get to singing a song. And while I want you to be able to apply the techniques to a song, it would be pointless to have you singing this song and you don't have the right foundation. So it's like, it's just baby steps. And I try to explain that too, so that students don't get discouraged. Okay. Because, sometimes people are like, oh, we've been doing this. And it's like, I know you want to sing this song.
But just take your time.
Right. Progress. Progress is not linear. So we might have a really good day. Right. We might have a really good day and we might have a not so good day. Like when I was taking lessons in college, like some days I have what I would consider to myself like a bad lesson. I would be walking away feeling so defeated. Like,
Ooh.
I couldn't get it. Like the concept she was trying to get me to do, I couldn't do it, and I just felt like
Really?
like I was like moving backwards. But it's like that's not true. Like you're not gonna get everything in one lesson, and so I have to tell students that too. Just because you're not getting it now doesn't mean you won't get it later.
Right.
So just keep at it and practice at home. People hate to practice. I'm not the best at practicing either, so I'm not even gonna try to scold y'all when I know I need to do it too. But practicing is just what makes you better.
Right.
Like you're not going to learn how to ride a bike the first time you hop on it. Like you got to fail a couple times, and then the more you do it, it's like you get used to it, and then you get better and better. So it's with anything.
So I like how you just said you would come out like thinking you got defeated, but then your mind would switch it. So how long did it take you to get that ability to switch from thinking like pessimistic but optimistic? Like I know it's hard because I have to talk to myself like everything is not about being negative. It's like think about the positive over everything. Like how do you get that?
It's constant work, to be honest.
Okay.
It's never like an arrival point. Like I'm at this point where it's just all positive. For the most part, you want to be positive, but it's only human to get discouraged sometimes, especially when you're like, when you've been trying and you want to see progress, you want to see results, and you feel like you're not where you want to be. That can be discouraging, and then sometimes you fall into a slump. But eventually you always have to remind yourself, and whatever inspiration that you pull that from, you just have to remind yourself that, like I just said, progress isn't linear. And some days you might not have a good day, but also you have to remember how far you've come too. That's always helpful, because I'm like, okay, I might not be where I want to be, but like a few months ago, like where I started, like I didn't know nothing. Or like I didn't have that many students, or even so, like right now I'm doing basically everything that I'm doing is music based, and that was one of my goals. And sometimes when you think back, like, wow, like this was something I was writing down, like being intentional with, like, I want to be music everything in the future, like everything, whether it's making money for fun, I want it to be music related. I don't want to be doing anything that's not involving my craft, involving my passion. And so now I'm there, and even though it's not like I'm not making billions of dollars and stuff, but that's not what I asked for. Right. That's not what I asked for. And even though I want to be, financially stable and stuff, I wanted to be involved, immersed in my passion, and that's what I'm doing. And so looking back to when I was, hustling, being an after school counselor and working at the call center, not knocking people who doing that. Don't get your money. Okay? Don't be broke trying to be like, oh, I'm living my passion. Like, get your money. Make sure you can eat. Make sure you got a roof over your head. Take care of yourself. Please don't be out here broke when you don't have to be. Like, take care of your business first. Take care of yourself first. But you don't want to put your passion on the back burner so much so that you regret anything. Because at one point I was just like, what am I doing? Like, I'm just going through the motions. Like, yeah, I'm making this money, but like I do not like this job. I don't like this job. And like I said, even if you don't like where you are, still take care of yourself financially to the best of your ability, but don't put your passion on the back burner. Don't treat it as like a side hobby, because your passion is important. Like that, your passion is basically like your purpose. Here or there. Sometimes people's purpose and passion can be a little bit different, but still, I feel like your passion is closely tied to what your purpose is in this life. And if you're not fulfilling your purpose, then you feel like you're just walking around. And you feel like you just lose your why. Like your passion, your purpose is your why. Why are we here? Why are we even existing? And I feel like if you don't have a close grip on that, then you'll lose yourself. And I've been in that point in my life.
Mindset.
It's very much so how you perceive things in your life. And so going back to, I know I kind of like went on a whole tangent,
but
going back to how do you stay positive, or how do you keep yourself encouraged? You have to keep sight of your why, and you can never let that go. Even if you probably can't dig into it the way you want to, don't let it go, because it will really keep you moving forward. It will propel you forward, and it inspires others. When people see you living your passion, like, I don't care what you say, when you're living your passion, like, it just changes, like, your whole
glow,
your whole aura. Like, you just move around about life differently. You can literally be doing the same thing, but when you change how you perceive things, like, and you feel differently about things, and then you're able to move forward. And so I just really believe that. And sometimes, when we get down, we lose sight of it, but then you have to, like, just hit the reset button and get back on track. It's okay when you fall into your moments of, you feel sad. Like, we're human. Like, I don't care what nobody say. Like, it's not gonna always be positive and sunshine, and every rising not gonna feel abundant. Like, it's not. Every morning not gonna feel good. Like, it's the truth. It's the truth. But then once you can get past that or through it, because it's part of it, then you can, you can move forward into what it is that you're supposed to be doing.
Talking about your process, would you change any of what you went through, like, to get to where you're at now? Nothing. And I am so spirit. Okay. I love that you said that. Those exact words were so intentional, because I'm also a songwriter.
You are. I'm a songwriter. And so I have a song that's out on all streaming platforms. It's called Nothing at All.
Okay.
And it's not like a hit song, and I'm not like a big artist, so you'll have to type in the song name and my artist name to get the whole thing. Nothing at All, Queen Vic. And in the process of writing this song, and even when you listen to it, it's basically saying, like, I'll say some of the words, like, sometimes I think if I could turn back the hands of time, what would I do differently? And it's just listen to things like, would I change my name? Would I choose to be black? Would I change my, my nose, my body, my hair? Like, would I change who I am? And it's like, I wouldn't change it. Nothing. I wouldn't change anything, because everything that I've been, I want to cry.
Feeling that chills? I feel the chills. No, like, no lie, I feel chills. Like, I ain't gonna say nothing.
I want to cry on this camera, but it's just so, it's just so important to me that all the things that I've been through, like the good, the bad, like all the hurt that I felt, or the insecurities, all the processes and the changes that I went through, the things that I've seen, heard, and experienced, I wouldn't change any of that, because every little piece, like, literally influenced, just the smallest minute piece influenced who I am now, and is influencing, and is gonna influence who I'm going to be. And so I'm like, some people are like, I could have done without this, and I can't speak for any other person, because I know some people have been through crazy stuff that I've never experienced, and I don't know what it's like. But from my particular experience, I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't alter it. Sometimes I think maybe if I would have done things differently, but it was meant to happen that way.
How you are now.
Yes.
Like, it molded you to be who you are. Yeah.
And so I was just like, man.
Definitely. Ooh.
I wouldn't change anything. That segue was so crazy. Like, the particular words that you use, I was like, so yeah, I wouldn't change anything.
That's really good.
Yeah.
So give them the 3 pros of being able to do how you said everything is about music. Like, you was able to get to where you wanted to be if you wrote down your goals. So what's 3 pros of that?
Okay, so pros of writing down my goals, or like pros of being all
the music.
Okay. So for one, like I said, being all in music, basically, I feel like I'm fully using my craft. And I'm using all the other things that I'm good at. I feel like music is such like a vast entity. Just to go off like on a slight tangent, like people think that when you do music, like you just gotta be in art, like you gotta sing, you gotta be in the studio, and you got to be traveling singing. But there's so many ways that music can be in your life. Like I know people who are music therapists. I know people who are lawyers in the music industry. I know people who use music. I couldn't think of the other jobs, but yeah, like some people use me as a hobby. Some people use music learning, like as a teacher. They might not be a music teacher, but teachers use music. Like my nephew, he loves affirmation alphabet. And so yeah, he already knew his alphabet, but like it's like this really like jamming song that helps the kids learn their alphabet along with words, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just like there's so many different ways that you can use music. So with me, I feel like when I'm using music, I can be crafty. Like when I'm showing trying to come up with different concepts to help my students learn, I like to do like a learning board. So like I'll get like a poster board or like a trifold board, and like I'll do like the little borders and you know the hot glue gun and the little arts and craft, like anything. I'm like low-key an art teacher. So like that artsy side of me, I get to use that. And then just being a teacher, I knew I wanted to teach, but for the longest, not in the capacity that people thought. Like people were like, oh, music teacher, they think, oh, you're gonna teach in the public school system.
That's what you definitely get from that, right?
That's
all they know. Look, that's all they know.
That's like they think teacher, oh, so what school you work? No, like no shade, but I don't want to work for OCPS. I don't want to do it. I don't want to work for the school
system. Is it a better
system.
word, like a coach, I guess?
Yeah, so I like to say there are a couple different ways that I say it, but one thing that is, it helps people to be like, okay, it's not public school system, private. When you say like private music teacher or private vocal coach, when you say vocal coach, then most people think you're by yourself anyway. But when you say private, it's like, okay, it's not public, like you're not in the school system or nothing like that. Because I like teaching one-on-one, and I also like teaching like small groups, or like I teach like I'm over the music at my church, so like I teach small groups. I've taught big groups before. So I like that. I didn't think that I would like that when I was younger. Like I just wanted to sing. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't want to do all that other stuff. But like I said, as I've grown, I realized that I really do like teaching. And then I love kids too. So it's just like most people start or involve their kids in music. Most times when people say they were introduced to music, it was like as a kid for the most part. I took a little piano when I was a kid, or I learned how to play this or that. So it's like, you know, lots of kids are exposed to music. So all the kids, like I said, some kids are like around 4, and not all 4-year-olds are, you know, like attention span real big. Like some are really attentive, really bright, and they can and so like I said, from 4, like I have some middle school students, I have some high school students, and even some adult students. And I really applaud the adults who want to take the time out to learn something, because you know, when you get a certain age, you know, society have you thinking that you got to be a certain age to start something. Why you got to be a baby or a child to start? Like you can start anything at any age. As long as you have breath in your body, you can do anything you want to. Now, it might be a little bit difficult if you're older and, you know, if it requires physical activity, you know, to each his own. But, you know, don't be discouraged to start anything new, especially music, because music is just so uplifting to me. Well, music
is.
music can be anything, right? Because when you sad,
and you listen, it'll make you cry.
Right, like you can play some sad music and be in there crying and whatever.
Turned up to that
Exactly. There's music for every season of life. There's music for every mood, for every there's driving down the highway music. Mm-hmm. There's uplifting. There's gospel music, or there's just music that uplifts you. It doesn't have to be gospel, because not everybody has the same belief system, but there's music that can uplift the masses. And so, and then it's some toxic music out there. There's some music out there that might be a little toxic, but it's where people are in their lives, so I'm not gonna judge.
Right.
But yeah, so I just think that being in music can allow me personally to just fully embrace who I am as a person. I feel like music relates to all aspects of who I am, like the artsy side, and just I also really like nature and stuff like that. Not no crazy stuff like that though. Like, I've never been hiking and stuff before, so I'm a little bit scared.
How you like nature, girl? How you like nature?
I like nature, but being by myself, I haven't been in the mountains and stuff like that. But that's on my, I won't say bucket list, because I'm not trying to do that before I kick the bucket. I just want to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's so many things that I want to do. But yeah, music is just so. I think music is universal.
It is.
I think so. Even though I've heard some people that be like, I don't really listen to music. I'm like, you listen to something.
It's no way.
You listen to something.
It's no way.
But yeah, I feel like music is universal, and so it reaches me in ways that just helps me dig deeper into who I am.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's really good. So do you have any cons for it?
Any cons for being fully immersed in music? Mm-hmm. I guess I guess the only thing that I can say is if you let there be an imbalance. Mm-hmm. But I think that's with anything though. Okay. If you're not balanced with the other aspects of your life, and you're just so heavy on your music, and you let your music distract you from other important things, then yeah, like I said, if your music is interfering with you making a bag, please
don't cut off the bag. You gotta keep
living.
Look.
You have to money isn't the most important thing, but we still have to survive. Yeah, we still have to make sure that we're taken care of. So don't let don't be like, I ain't coming into work today, I'm in the studio. If you can afford to do that sometimes, okay, I get it, but don't neglect other important things in your life for your music. Okay. And so that's the only thing that I can say, really. Just don't be negligent in other areas of your life.
That's definitely good. Mm-hmm. So I know you was talking about the physical activity as far as the elders and stuff like that. And I see you work out. You be working out, sis. You be working out. And I want to know, does that affect your singing if you are a certain age or weight, or if it's
so
does your voice change as you lose weight, gain weight?
Your health overall affects your singing, because your voice, is a part of your body. Mm-hmm. Your body's your voice is your instrument, which is a part of your body. So if you're not healthy, you won't be able to sing well. Okay. So for instance, the main thing that people take for granted is rest. People barely sleep. Right. And wonder why they can't function. Let alone sing.
You're tired, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Your voice is going to suffer when your overall health isn't well. So just the basic things that people take for granted, being hydrated. For those of y'all that don't like water, grow up.
Because who don't like water? Come on.
Grow up. That's any type of liquid that you drink is derived from water. So why you don't like it? You need water. You need hydration to have a healthy voice. You need rest. And then also having healthy muscles.
Okay.
Not saying you have to be like fit or muscular, but you do use your abdominal muscles a lot when you're singing, because that supports your lungs. It all works together. So yeah, you want to make sure you have at least like some strong abdominal muscles. So, you know, if your core not together, like I said, you don't have to have abs. Like, you don't have to be out here like you're a bodybuilder or going to the gym all the time. But you have to have some level of physical fitness to be able to sing. Okay. Because singing is also an aerobic exercise. Like, you have to use your breath.
Yes.
Yeah, like, you can't be out of breath. Like, it takes, you know, even somebody who is fit and who sings a lot, like, sometimes singing a long phrase requires you to have good breath support, and you can't have breath support if your abdominals aren't good and if your lungs aren't healthy too. And also that brings me to something that's kind of controversial. Some people, they'll be like, you know, I don't smoke because I want to protect my voice. I know a lot of people who are smokers and they have a really great voice, but if you just think about it, like, smoke isn't healthy for your lungs, period.
Right.
Not knocking nobody. I'm not telling y'all what to do. I promise I'm not. I promise. I'm not telling y'all what to do. But the healthiest thing for your lungs is for it to remain free and clear of any pollutants. And so, you know, that can be, it's pollutants all around us in the air. So, you know, you don't want to be, you know, in an area where something is really strong, or, you know, smoke, whether it's tobacco, whether it's, you know, whatever you smoke, you know, if you do it too much, it can affect your voice.
Okay.
Some people are still able to sing well even though they do those types of practices, so that's why I'm like, to each his own. But me personally, I stay away from it for the most part, because I know how my voice can get. It can easily dry out.
Okay.
Even if I'm talking for a long period of time, I'm like, let me get a drink of water. So it's just like, take care of yourself, just the basics. Take care of yourself, and that should be able to support your voice.
Okay, so when you're saying like the long phrases and stuff like that, when you performing, do you like walk the stage? Do you like stand? Like, how are you? Are you like active on the stage? So
it depends. It depends on the song.
Okay.
So, and then also that has to do with me growing as an artist, because at some point, you know, when you're nervous or you're not as comfortable on the stage, like, you plan it. You ain't going nowhere. You're gonna hold that mic and you're gonna sing your song and you're gonna sit down. You're gonna sing your song, you're gonna sit down. But the more you get comfortable with it, then you'll move around. And also, like I said, depending on the song. Like, I remember one time I sang Real Love by Mary J. Blige. I had my boots on.
No, you didn't.
I did. I had my boots on. So it's like, you can't not move around and dance with that song. But then there are some songs, especially like if it's like a ballad, or like a somber song, you know, you're gonna stand and you're just gonna sing. So it just really depends. But yeah, for the most part, I usually just stand. I'm just like planted and I just sing. But, you know, for the moment, you gotta, you know, you're a performer too. Yeah. So you don't just want to give people a show.
You're right.
No, so for whatever song that you're picking, you want to make sure that you're fulfilling that role. You still want to be yourself, but, you know, if it's a hype song, you got to move
a little bit.
Right.
So when you sing in the gospel, because I grew up in church as well, but I was a praise dancer. I couldn't get into sing. I tried to sing in, you know, but it's like a little nasally. So I was like, okay. Are you ever like tearing up and crying when you sing? Because you know when it comes to gospel music, that stuff just touch you so different. Like, you get the chills. I know you do. Like,
yes.
Have you ever just broke down?
Yeah, like, there are some times where, like, I fight through it. It's really hard, like, when you gotta cry in your throat and you trying to sing. It's like, Lord, it's like, okay, either I'm gonna, like, not snap out of it, but, you know, like, power through it, or just take the time out to just stop singing and just, like, cry or let it be, or, you know, let the music just, you know, take over. There have been times where I just cried.
Really?
Yeah. I I hate crying like in front of people. I don't like it.
Church be so different.
But yeah,
like,
like in that environment, like I feel free. And that's what I've tried to do, even on, you know, like a stage where I'm not singing gospel music, is to try to be as free as possible.
Okay.
Y'all not gonna get me to cry on the stage out there. Well, who knows? Who knows? You never know. But definitely in church, I feel really free. And like when the song just really hits differently, or, you know, it just moves me to tears. Like sometimes I'll just stop and I'll just like let the tears flow. Take a few deep breaths, and then when I'm ready to come back in, I'll come back in. But yeah, sometimes it's like in the middle. It's like it's certain words that I'm singing them, and I'm internalizing them. It's like, ooh. So yeah, it's just like, okay, get through this verse before you get to crying. They want to hear the words.
When I'm praise dancing in the song and the words, I'm like, oh my God, I'm tearing up. I can tell I'm
tearing up. Right.
Oh God,
it's like you feel it creeping up.
Yes.
Mm-hmm,
like, oh my God. I mean, of course, everybody else is breaking down too, but you're the performer.
Right.
So you have to hold it.
You hold it together. You got to carry them through it. Can't be crying with everybody else. Yes.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, I see myself owning my own, like working for myself full time, owning my own private music practice. I'm mobile right now, so I'm traveling to different homes, and I still want to provide that service for people who is more convenient for. But I want to have an actual location, a building where I can be like, this is my practice, and people just come. And yeah, that's where one of the places where I see myself in 5 years. Also having put out some projects.
Okay.
Like I said, I songwrite, and I have some things that I've been sitting on for a couple of years. They're not finished, but you know, life just be life, and you know, you just put things on pause. But I really want to get back into finishing some of my projects, creating more, collabing with other artists. Because some people are like, oh, we gotta work, we gotta do this, and there are some things that are actually in the work, like other people who are working on some things and they want me to be a part of it. So I'm like, I'm open to working, and I've always wanted to. I love traveling in general, and one of my goals has been to travel, doing what I love, which is singing. So I would love to go on a tour. Like I don't know what that requires, what that entails, but I'm gonna do my research. I'm gonna figure it out, and I do want to sing, you know, tour. It doesn't matter where. I could do like a little Florida tour. I could do, you know, East Coast. I could do a West Coast. I could do it. It doesn't matter, but I just want to travel and just see places and share my music.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Tell them how they can contact you for your teaching lessons.
Yes, so teaching, the name, I don't have an LLC yet, I'm building it, but the name of my music studio is Black Victorian Studio. I don't have an Instagram for that yet, but I do have a Facebook page. So just type in Black Victorian Studio into the search bar, and you should be able to find my page, and I'm updating it and putting some new information up there. And then also for me as a performer, my stage name is Queen Vic, and so on Facebook as well as Instagram, you can find me on Queen, as it sounds, .vic, VIC .music for both Facebook and Instagram.
And you did mention earlier you have a song out on all platforms. So I do want to do a little sneak peek, not the full thing because y'all got to go download it.
Right.
But she is going to give you a little sneak peek, you guys. Okay.
I choose to be black. Would I keep things the same? Oh, sometimes I wonder if I could tweak any part of me. What would it be? So I ponder. Would I slim down my nose? Would I lighten my skin? Would I relax my hair? Would I be super thin? Oh, sometimes consider changing a few things, 'cause life made me bitter. So I grew some thick skin, and I put up my walls, and I built my own castle to get away from it all. The things that make us who we are. So like our nose, like why would you do that? Like that's a characteristic of, like those are genes that were passed down to you from your ancestors. Why would you want to disassociate from that? And so it's just like, and like I said, lighten your skin. Like melanin comes in all different shades, but there are people who be bleaching, or they hate that they're darker skinned, or it's just like, why would you want to do that? And even so, like would you be super thin? Like, of course, you know, like we talk about fitness, definitely be fit, but skinny is not healthy. Skinny does not equate to being healthy. Like, you could be skinny and be sick. You could be bigger or plus size and be the healthiest thing on earth. So it's just like, healthy does not look one way. Beautiful does not look one way. And so I just really wish that people would embrace that and just know that, you know, you don't have to change anything on the outside. You don't have to change any of that. Really, the change that occurs is on the inside. And then if you want to change something on the outside for the better, let that be because of a positive change that's happened on the inside. People try to reverse it. Think if you change the stuff on the outside, then you'll feel good. No. But it doesn't work like that, because then you want to change something else. You want to change something else. It'll never be enough. But until you change what's on the inside, perception, then you'll be satisfied with where you are. And then if where you are isn't where you should be, the conviction on the inside of you will make you make the outer change that you actually need. But yeah, like, I wish people would see that.
I do too.
Yeah.
Because I struggled with that for a while, and I'm like, everybody keeps complimenting me, and I'm like, y'all, I'm just now getting real comfortable with myself.
Yes.
And I'm like, what you mean? No, I'm literally just getting real comfortable with who I am and what I look like. So it's like, now I am really pretty. Like, so I have to like keep saying that, because it's like, I'm not gonna change anything about myself. Like on the outside, I already know I'm beautiful inside. But it's like, it takes some time, especially with this world. People will say some crazy stuff.
People will say things to you, or even if not say things to you, they paint these images of what we're supposed to look like, what beauty is, what the standard of beauty is. And if you don't look like that, then you feel insecure, and you feel like you're just not beautiful. You're not worthy of being, you know, loving yourself, because you don't look like this. And it's like, no. So yeah, it's just, like you said, it takes time to get there. But yeah, I just like to create music that's uplifting, in different ways too, like because of self. And also there's another song I sent it to, well, it's the instrumental, so you didn't hear it, but there's another song that that's on there. It's not released yet, so I guess, you know, I sent it just in case, but it's not released yet, so I was like, if we don't do it, that's fine. But it's called Sunflower. That's over the shit. And I love sunflowers, but yeah, it's called Sunflower, and it's basically like paying homage to the Black woman. Yeah, I'm gonna play it for you, like when we finish, so you can hear it. But yeah, like I love, and you know, I want to uplift everybody, but especially like Black women, Black people, but especially Black women, because we're just so hard on ourselves.
We are. But once I want to say this, because I know yesterday me and my friend was talking, and he was like and people be talking about how you say Black king and king and king, and I'm like, do you not know Black people go through so much out here?
Right.
What?
Right.
I'm going to compliment you, because I want you to feel like you're empowered.
Yeah.
The world going to try to put you down.
Right.
Left and right.
Right.
Men and women go through so much being Black. Any chance I get, I'm gonna uplift you.
Right.
Like,
why not? Like,
it doesn't matter.
Sometimes we lack a sense of community anyway. Like, some people, I hear people say, like, all the other ethnicities and stuff band together, but we the ones that act like crabs in a barrel. Like, why?
Really?
Why?
Like, not another black lady getting mad at a black lady saying king. What?
Right. Like, what you mean?
You need to uplift your black men.
Right. I'm not trying to get
calling myself a queen.
Right.
You call yourself a queen.
Right.
My business name is Royal D because it's like I want to be up. I don't want to keep pushing down because I'm a black woman. No,
right.
You're not going to belittle me.
Yeah, like we don't have to belittle ourselves to feel like we fit in. For one, we don't fit in. We don't. That's for one.
Whether you doing good or bad.
Right. So that's for one, but why belittle yourself? Why downplay who you are? There's no point in it. Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. And I want to give you a little goodie bag.
Thank you.
Yes,
thank you. So pretty.
Thank you. Okay, so this is the mystery drink segment, you guys. So I want you to rate it on a 1 to 10.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. Ooh.
It's giving flavors.
It's giving flavors. It's also giving strength. Like it's not a little weak drink. But at the same time, it's not one of those drinks where it just tastes like liquor. Right? Because I like my drinks to taste sweet. But yeah,
it's so sneak up on you. That's what I like.
Right.
You.
It's good. I like my sangrias. I like to have a little bit of like how do you describe it? Like a robust type of flavor.
Like to hit you.
Not necessarily like. How do I explain it? I like my sangrias to have almost like an earthy taste. Like I like, because sangria has like a wine base.
That's spicy.
Yeah, so I like it to be sweet but almost bitter.
Oh.
I have such different tastes.
Oh my god.
I have such different tastes when it comes to like wines. I know sangria is like a sweeter one.
Yes.
But yeah, I like it to be like yeah.
You like that
yeah. So I'll give this an 8.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Well, you guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and turn those notifications on. I will see you next time.